Hello everyone, it's your girl Asia from Rant channel. Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been a little MIA, y'all. Life has been really busy, kicking me in the ass. I just been trying to get my shit together, y'all feel me? But I figured, you know, it's been a minute since I made a video, and I usually like making videos when I'm stressed out or well, when I just want to talk about some shit. So I just want to give you guys a little update for what my channel has coming for the rest of this year, because I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing for my channel as far as next year, as far as things I want to talk about, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. The graphic videos that I want to talk about, I want to talk about season 5 for Degrassi, and why I feel like this season is not as good as people try to make it seem like it is. I don't feel like season 5 for Degrassi should be in a top 5 or top 3 spot. In my opinion, I feel like this season was really showing a lot of issues that I'm going to discuss. The next video I want to talk about is me talking about Miles' bisexuality journey, as far as why I don't feel like it's consistent, but it's still good but not consistent, and why I feel like people need to understand why he never came out and said that he was bisexual. Because if you've been paying attention to Miles' character, it makes sense why he never came out and said it. So I'm going to explain all of that, because it seems like there's people out there who feel like Miles was never really gay and or bisexual, and I know I've said that, and it might be because I said that because of how they wrote his journey, but looking at it now after watching it, it makes sense why Degrassi wrote it that way. So I'm going to talk about that. I also want to talk about why I feel like Degrassi fumbled at doing a Craig, Ellie, and Manny love triangle, writing it properly. They fumbled. And no other, which is the start of this video, and something else I wanted to talk about, which I've been saying for the longest. I do want to make a part 2 video on things I love and things I didn't like about the newer generation of Degrassi. But the video I do want to talk about today is why I feel like now, as an adult, when I go back and watch season 4 for Degrassi, as far as like the episodes after the shooting, specifically with Emma, you know, the whole thing with Jay, I feel like these episodes, Secret Part 1 and Part 2, don't age well. Because to me, I feel like, okay, I guess I could say I can try to see what they were doing, but at the same time, not necessarily. Because I feel like this is the only time I feel like Emma was a hypocrite. You feel me? Like, she always got on many ads for being in guys' faces if they're in relationships, or how many was, you know, sleeping around with Craig even though he was with Ashley. Emma turned around and did the same thing with Jay. You feel me? Emma went down on Jay knowing he was in a relationship, but I feel like at the same time, and it's not that it was just that Jay was in a relationship that bothers me. It's the fact that they could do this storyline with anybody else. Did it have to be with Jay, someone who was best friends with Sean? Like, that even makes it more gross. So to me, I constantly say, yeah, this is the only time I feel like Emma was a hypocrite. But I feel like, okay, I can see what Degrassi was trying to do. Emma had the whole traumatic thing that happened to her, so she was just trying to find something that was like exciting and things like that. To me, I think I'd have been okay if Emma and Jay, I don't really know. I don't like that it was like sex involved, because I felt like Jay took advantage of her, because Emma just went through something really traumatic. She couldn't sleep. She was like failing her classes. She just wasn't herself. So I feel like with Emma's parents, right after the shooting, specifically when she had a gun put into her head, they should have got Emma help. But obviously in Degrassi, which is something I'm starting to see, is that when it comes to serious situations, they don't give these kids therapy, which I think is stupid. After the school shooting, I feel like all the kids should have gotten therapy, especially the ones who were really like, especially the ones I feel like that were really like traumatized from it, like Craig having to deal with Jimmy getting shot, Hazel, Toby was friends with Rick and he died. Like, they didn't do the aftermath properly the way I would have wanted it. That is why I said, and it might be an unpopular opinion, that I feel like when it came to Cam's suicide, as far as the aftermath, they did it better. It was just, I didn't care for Zig's episodes, because and that might be a rant in of itself why I don't necessarily like Zig's episode in season 12, and I'm starting to go off topic, but it kind of connects what I'm trying to say. Like, for the shooting aftermath, I feel like only, who got episodes? After the shooting, I think Emma was the only one who got episodes, right? That I remember. Emma and Sean. I feel like Sean's episode was way better than Emma's, because Sean, had to stop Rick from shooting Emma. So when the gun went off, he felt like he killed Rick. So Sean's episode, to me, was better than Emma's, because to me, I felt like it was written better as far as like traumatically. As far as Emma, it was like, why couldn't they just write a regular PTSD storyline? Like, she suffered from PTSD. That's why she can't sleep, why she can't eat, why she's not really focused on her school, because she has trauma. Instead, you want to do something where she expressed her trauma sexually. I don't like that, because I think it's just disgusting. Jay was a predator. He was literally preying on Emma. He knew that she was not there mentally. He literally manipulated her, everything. Like, he literally told this girl, after he took her to the ravine, and tried to tell her, oh, do you want to go in a van? She was like, what do people do in here? He said, people hook up orally. Basically trying to tell her, like, me and you should fool around. It would be fun. When she didn't want to do it, he still gave her a bracelet saying that every player gets a reward. And then the next day, she asked Jay, does he want to go to Ravine? And he said that, I don't want to go if we're not going to do anything. And Emma was like, what if I don't want to do that? And he going to tell her that I don't just take anybody to the Ravine. I chose you. And he said that there were a whole bunch of other girls that I could have took into that van, but I picked you, and you blew it. So to me, I just think like that's manipulation. You're making it seem like, oh, you're trying to make her feel special because you wanted to hook up with her, and because she didn't want to do it, now she have a reason why she wants to do it. And since then, Emma, she been going down on Jay and getting bracelets for it. You feel me? So I just feel like I don't like the whole she had to exploit herself sexually to get a disease to get over her trauma, and it really wasn't until she got a disease from Jay to where she didn't want to keep fooling around with him. I don't like that. It's just like like Degrassi, no. I don't like the whole we're gonna exploit them. I don't like that they exploit. Here, go, get it. I don't like the whole, we're going to exploit her sexually for her trauma. I don't like that. You feel me? And it's just, I don't know. I feel like maybe they did that Because I still like the episodes, I just don't like the storyline. Mm. Like, I like the episodes because they have drama, but I don't like how they wrote it. I don't know if they were trying to show, like, there's people out there who will see that you're struggling mentally and they will take advantage of you and manipulate you to do things, things like that. Because I feel like at the same time, I can't really be mad at Emma because she was manipulated. Like, she was going through something very traumatically and no one was there for her. Manny was not there for her. Manny just thought she was just, screwing around with Jay. But it's like, Manny, why didn't Manny ever think, like, wait, this isn't Emma. Emma would have never went down on a guy that was in a relationship. What's going on with her? Exactly. Manny never asked the important question. She's asking, oh, are you in love with him? Like, bitch, no. You can fuck around with somebody without having to be in love with them, without there being any feelings attached. The fuck? Talk about what did she get out of it? That's a really stupid question. Why would you cheat? Why would you do that on someone who cheats on their girlfriend? Like she said, we're not having real sex. Wait, do you really think you should be preaching to anyone about that? Right, we're not having real sex. It's close. At least I'm not getting pregnant. Why are you trying to hurt me? Because you won't leave me alone. Leave me alone. I want to be left alone. And my thing is with Manny is that up until she saw the whole thing with Emma and Jay in the hallway, she never checked on Emma once at all. In the whole part 1 episode, she never checked up on Emma. She never called her, never came to the house. She never. Instead, she asked Emma for help on her project, and I think Emma said no, and she asked her what's her problem. You don't want to see if your friend is okay, like the school shooting did just happen. She had a gun pointed to her face, you feel me? So it's like, I can't really be mad at Emma, but it's like at the same time, it still is disgusting because she still did went down. She still did go down on Jay, even though he was in a relationship. And Jay and Sean were friends, so it's still like a whole disgusting situation. I don't think in season 6, Sean should have held it against her, because it's like she is human. We all make mistakes, you feel me? And after day, like she said, I had a gun pointed to me, so it's like at the end of the day, she was just doing something, I guess, to feel alive. But it's like at the same time, the situation still is nasty because, like I said, Jay was in a boyfriend. Jay was in a relationship, and Sean and him were friends, so it just make it all look bad, in my opinion, like really, really bad. But like I said, the reason why I feel like Cam's episode, the aftermath of Cam's suicide is way better than the school shooting because everybody in Cam's episode, when he did commit suicide, they picked out the 3 characters who they wanted to give special episodes to. Now that I'm older, because I always used to feel like, why did they give Zig one? Because even though I find Zig's episode to be really boring, I don't really think Zig needed one, but I get it. If you ask me, I feel like Dallas should have got an episode with Cam, because in the episode when Cam committed suicide, Dallas did a great job in the hallway scene. Like, the actor who played Dallas did an amazing job. The aftermath episodes and the acting and everything was just great. I feel like Dallas deserved the episode mainly because I felt like when he heard the news about Cam, he felt guilty about how he treated Cam and how he really could have been nicer to Cam while he was here. He could have understood what Cam was feeling. He was homesick. Cam was miles away from his family, and he just was very depressed, with all the pressure of having to be this big-ass hockey star and not seeing his mom and his brothers and stuff like that. So it was just hard. And it's like, Dallas, you're in the same situation as Cam. You're miles away from your family. You're miles away from your kid. So you should have understood where Cam was coming from. But you didn't care about that. You just wanted Cam to be on a team and be the rock star hockey player who gets you through all the games and things like that. To where I feel like when Cam committed suicide, Dallas should have gotten an episode for us to see more of his psyche, because it definitely felt like he carried a lot of guilt once Cam committed suicide, thinking he was the reason why Cam did it. I'm not upset that they gave Zig an episode, but I don't really feel like he needed one. Zig's episode was really boring, and it was really just about him feeling guilty that he was the reason why Cam died, because he told Cam to get out of Maya's life, and Cam committed suicide. So I can see why they did that, but let me tell you why I think it's dumb. Because I don't think Zig should be blamed for why Cam committed suicide at all. Cam was already depressed, and he was already showing signs of suicidalness way before Zig ever said anything to him. Period. So to me, it was more like Zig was doing kid shit, and it was just coming from a place of jealousy. He honestly couldn't believe that Maya still chose to go with Cam even after Cam attacked him when they was doing the whole gang activity. But that really just came from a place of jealous with Cam, because at the day, like Maya said, her and Zig did kiss when they broke up, and you got Tristan putting a bug in his ear that Zig is going to make sure he do everything in his power to make sure Maya ditches you and blah, 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 blah. So to Cam, it was more like he needed to do that to show Zig that, you feel me, that whatever him and Maya had, that was just something that was in a moment. It's done. It's over with. I just feel like with Zig, when he said what he said to Cam, it really was just coming from a place of jealousy. So I don't really think he should be blamed for why Cam did what he did, because it's like, no, Cam was already suicidal and depressed way before Zig ever said anything to him. It was just more like Cam saying that. It felt more like Zig saying that. It kind of put the nail in the coffin, I guess you would say. But I do feel like the aftermath episodes for Cam's suicide are 100% written better than the shooting episodes. And I don't give a fuck how anybody feel. That's just my opinion. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I made a video talking about why I feel like it's better than the school shooting, in my opinion. Not because I think both Cam's part 1 and part 2 episodes are really good, just like the school shooting episodes. I'm saying I think the aftermath was handled better, because, like I said, for the aftermath of the shooting, they only really gave Sean and Emma episodes, when I feel like Toby should have gotten one. Why? Because Toby and Rick were friends. Toby shouldn't have gotten an episode, honestly. I feel like Toby should have got an episode. Except with Cam, they gave everybody an episode who was either guilty for why he died or how to deal with it. Like Eli. Eli got an episode, which makes sense because Eli saw Cam's dead body and he was still learning how to deal with it, and he was getting tired of constantly talking about it because Claire wanted to talk about it, and his counselor wanted to talk about it, and his therapist wanted to talk about it. Like, he was just getting tired of talking about something that revisits his trauma. So Eli's episodes were really great when it came to Cam, because it's like he literally saw Cam's dead body. Like, I think everybody tends to forget about that and make it seem like, oh, he broke up with Claire over some petty shit. No, he broke up with Claire because he was not there mentally. He was not okay, and he needed help, and he did the right thing by breaking up with Claire, because at the end of the day, being with Claire while he's not there mentally is not healthy for neither one of them. So Eli did the more mature thing. Instead, Claire was the issue because she was not understanding what he was saying. It's like, it was as if she just wanted Eli to get over it because he didn't know Cam. And that's what Eli was trying to tell her, that he's been trying to forget and trying not to care because he did not know Cam. He didn't speak to him, but he was still affected because he saw his dead body. What is this bitch not understanding? She dumb? Like, what the fuck? Eli saw Cam's dead body. Maya was with Cam when he committed suicide, so it's like, just imagine what the fuck she was going through. And like I said with Zig, his episode was kind of meh. It was cool, I guess, but nothing really too much to talk about. So I feel like when it comes to the aftermath of the school shooting, I think it was not written properly. In my opinion, I feel like they could have done more. The aftermath after Camp Suicide were 100% written 1000% better, and I don't care what anyone feels. That is how I feel. As far as this video is concerned, I don't really have nothing else to say other than I feel like looking back on the episodes with Emma and Jay, they don't necessarily age well. They're kind of creepy. Jay was more like a predator, kind of kind of preying on Emma's like mental state, knowing she was not really there and knowing he could take advantage of that. And I feel like the writers should have done more with like addressing the predatory of people who try to take advantage of your mental health, knowing you're not there mentally, knowing they can get away with it, instead of doing something where Emma exploits her trauma sexually. And then like, it was just, I don't like the writing. The episodes, however, are really good as far as entertaining and drama wise, but the situation, how they wrote the situation, I don't like it. It's like the situation was written backwards when that's not what they should have done. If you ask me, I don't think Emma should have explored her trauma sexually. They should have just wrote a classic PTSD storyline and showing how does she move forward, how does she heal from the school shooting, having a gun put into her head, feeling like her life was about to flash before her eyes, things like that. But you feel me? You can't get everything you want, and that's life. So anyway, as always, it is nice talking to you guys, and catch you on my next video.